And we are officially live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there. And welcome to another rendition of the review, your weekly AEW review show here at BC WrestlePod. It is going to be a dynamic duo for this evening. Of course, my name is Mikey. I am El Jefe of BC WrestlePod. I lead everything, watch everything, do all the stuffs, and I am also here to be pretty. Anywho, joining me this evening, of course, is our friend Benny. Benny, I am so happy to have you here. So me and you get to tag team this, so it should be fun. I'm excited you're here.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Let's rock and roll.
Absolutely. So we got a lot to cover. We are going to be going over this past week's Dynamite and Collision, but then we are also going to spend the end of the show making our predictions for Forbidden Door, which is happening this Sunday. So stay tuned for information on that because we got some stuff planned for all of that. But before we get into our review proper, a little bit of housekeeping, if you will. However you found us, whether it be on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, and whether it was a friend, the algorithm, or you randomly just found this channel, we're happy that you are here. And we highly recommend that you subscribe on YouTube, hit the bell notification, or follow us on Twitch or Kick, whichever of those three platforms you prefer. But of course, we also understand that if you cannot sit down for full-length reviews, that we still want to interact with you, and you can follow us on all the social media sites. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, it's TikTok. We got a whole bunch of stuff happening, so it's a lot of fun for sure. And those are the places where you can find our report cards and other previews for like pay-per-views and for the TV shows, which is a lot of fun. Lots of exciting stuff. Last but certainly not least, if you want to represent us everywhere or rep us everywhere you go, we have some merchandise at your purchasing pleasure. We are at BC WrestlePod shop.fourthwall.com where you can find merch for all our review teams, our Pride collection, our anti-fascism collection, and our Hot Boy Summer collection, as that will be going away at the end of the month to make room for the Fall Boy collection, which is a lot of course, I am repping the merch right now. So again, check the link in your chat description below, and then we can get to all the fun stuff happening. So without further ado, let us get into it because we got a lot to cover before we get to Forbidden Door predictions. So Dynamite! So we're going to cover this past week's Dynamite, and we kick things off with a face-to-face with our hero of AEW, Hangman Adam Page, and the supposed villain of AEW, MJF. So these go back and forth on the mic, and the beautiful thing is that MJF thinks he is in control to get Hangman to give him a championship match, but Hangman does not allow Max to get under his skin, and he in turn uses reverse psychology to get under Max's skin, in which MJF enacts his Casino Gauntlet contract for Forbidden Door, which sets up Hangman versus MJF at Forbidden Door to Max's dismay. We're going to revisit this a little bit. But Ben, what did you think of our opening segment for this past week's Dynamite?
First off, they're both really great in this. And excuse me, there was a moment where the crowd started chanting something about calling MJF something, and it sort of like broke both of them, where like Hangman had to turn away and Max was just laughing in the corner. But I love that, as you said, like Hangman outmaxed Max. Perfect way to goad him into signing the contract.
Absolutely. So again, MJF is like, oh my goodness, I got outplayed here. So we're going to revisit these two at the end of the night, though, because Max is not going to be taking this one lying down, so to speak. So we move on from our opening segment to the first match of the evening, which was Jon Moxley versus the Jet, Kevin Knight. I love Kevin Knight so much. Again, the same thing that I said last week, where I complimented Speedball Mike Bailey. I was like, single star Mike Bailey needs to be this every single week, and I apply this to Kevin Knight too. Single star Kevin Knight is also just as great. I was just like, am I liking Jon Moxley and the Death Riders now? What is happening with my life right now?
I know, right? Apparently, the crowd felt the same way because Mox threw after this. I'm sorry, after you, my friend.
No, go ahead.
Like it was funny. Like there was some great camera work in this one. Like at the final shot with Mox having that choke on, and he just like does like the gator roll. and they did a great job with this one. Like I like how Mox is starting a feud with Jet Speed just to bring him up a little bit. That Speedball, he's worked with everybody, all the top guys since he's been.
Seriously, Speedball has gotten to work with some incredible matches in the short time that we've gotten here.
Seriously, and I'm here.
100%. So, as you said, my friend, Jon Moxley pulls out the win against Kevin Knight, but we did get a little bit of post-match angle. Of course, we have Darby come out, and we had a body bag, man. It's always they fight with the body bag zipper. That is the worst enemy of professional wrestlers right now. It is wild.
Seriously, I think I saw like Darby put himself in the bag at one point. Like,
I mean, at some point, it's like, all right, this bag's not closing here. Let me help real quick. So let's follow this order of sequence, right? Because we have Yuta in the bag, and then Darby gets thrown into the bag. Claudio throws the bag like around, which is wild. And then Will Ospreay returns, and his music hits for the save. And so Darby and Will Ospreay are in the ring. Seriously, it's wild for sure. So, Will, we're going to revisit you a little bit later because right now we got to talk about our next match. I'm trying to condense this as much as I can. Forbidden Door, our predictions tend to go ever. So, we get our trios match, which I was very excited about because it gets a lot of women involved and also, getting opponents at Forbidden Door together as well. So we get a trios match of our TBS champion, Mercedes Moné, however you want to pronounce it, teaming up with 2/3 of Triangle of Madness in Tekla and Sky Blue, taking on the team of Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale. Of course, as this match would go on, we would see Athena and Toni Storm be watching from the high balcony. Miss Toni, we gonna talk about you because, once again, this week you were probably my favorite promo in AEW right now. So this match was a lot of fun. It's really nice to see Mercedes get up in the trios action, which we haven't seen her do too much of. And I like that we're also getting people who are going to be involved at Forbidden Door and women who have been prominently featured on television every week who kind of have connecting storylines outside of the championships in this match as well. So, of course, we would end up having, given everything that is happening, I got to check my notes because it's been a lot of wrestling, but I was like, the baby faces one? I'm not sure. Let me check my notes real quick, but yeah. So, we end up having the baby faces win. So Alex Windsor, Queen Aminata, and Willow Nightingale do pick up the victory here. Benny, what did you think of this trios match between these 6 women?
Yeah, I thought it was really seeing Mercedes in the orbit of other heels. We really don't usually see that. Like, there's a very funny moment on commentary where Taz is like, this shades of Dino Bravo. And no lie, Dino Bravo actually came up with that move.
It's like, Taz, are we for real? And listen, Taz, I love you, but sometimes it's just like I have to look at you in the same lens I look at Booker T. I'm like, all right, if you say so.
Yeah, definitely. But I digress. And I've actually wanted to say this on camera for a while. I just keep forgetting every week. All the spooky ladies.
Yes. All the spoopy action we're here for. We love spoopiness around in our wrestling.
Absolutely.
So again, we get another post-match angle too because a lot is happening. So the girls are fighting in the ring. Athena and Toni are fighting in the balcony. They somehow managed to get down to where everybody else is, and then everybody just starts brawling with everyone. So it's just like fight.
Yeah, I thought that myself. From when Toni and Athena disappeared from when they reappeared on the stage, I was like, that was 3 seconds. How did you get from up there to down there so quickly?
They literally full on sprinted. I was like, y'all have some crazy coordination and stamina.
It's like they're a dumbwaiter in the back,
That would be amazing. Somebody needs to give AEW women's roster, especially Toni and Athena. Y'all need to vlog this because if there are secret dumbwaiters, I am here for it.
Absolutely. God. But there's a lot going on. But they seem to make it work. This was really, really good.
Right. And it's very even when it comes to how storyline perspective is that last week, of course, we had Athena and Mercedes standing on top. And then this past week's Dynamite, the baby faces are standing tall and we keep going back and forth, which I love because then you're like, you know what? This makes sense. And when we talk about predictions, when we get to our women's championship match that's going to be held at Forbidden Door, I'm sitting here, I was like, Now, of course, I'm never going to bet against Tony, but I can make an argument for Athena too, and I would be happy equally, but we're going to wait until our predictions for that.
Really.
So after this, though, Will Ospreay is with Renee Paquette. And so Renee asks Will, and we get two different things. So Will, tells Renee that, he has unfinished business with Death Riders and he has some pull with NJPW still. So, and he talked to Tony Khan. And this is where we get confirmation that everything that has transpired the last couple of pay-per-views, the last couple of months, everybody needs to we need to kind of figure out what we're going to do with this. And after talking with Tony Khan and making some phone calls, Will Ospreay announces to us that we are getting lights out steel cage match. I mean, Tony Schiavone confirms it at the end of the show, but this is where we learned that we are getting not just a steel cage, a lights out steel cage, which means anything goes. It's probably going to be bloody, or some people will be bloodied. Others we're trying to protect and preserve them, but it's going to be wild. People are probably going to jump off cages. People are going to do crazy things. And then when we get the team lineup, I'm just like, oh my gosh. So on the heel side, if you will, it's going to be the Death Riders of John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli teaming up with, spoiler alert, and we're going to talk about their segment a little bit later, the Young Bucks. And also teaming up with those four is New Japan's Gabe Kidd, who we talked beforehand had to drop out of the G1 this year because he tweaked his knee after the first round of matches. So I'm like, Gabe, I hope you're okay. Like our IWGP Global Champion, I was like, like steel cage match, fine, but this is lights out. I'm like, Gabe Kidd's about to murder somebody, or he is about to be murderized, and I'm here for it either way. But yeah. Benny, oh no, it's not done because that's just the heel team. Then the face team gets revealed, and I'm like, Lord have mercy, everybody's gonna die in this match in some capacity because it's Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, New Japan star and president of the company of Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And then we also get the Golden Lovers of Kenny Omega and Kota. And I'm just like, oh, this match is going to rule. Also, everybody's going to bleed or die. One of the...
Yeah, I think that like at least 3/4 of the people in this match are already injured. So there's going to be a lot of smoke and mirrors. Ooh. You're only smoke and mirrors.
And that's only the first part of this segment, because then Renee asks us like, well, I mean, you asked me for an interview, and I know you still have beef with the Death Riders. And Will tells Renee, it's like, listen, remind your husband that I want to see him when we're in Glasgow next week. I'm like, we're getting a face-to-face between pretty much what I'm assuming is our captains for this match, which is Will and Mock. So, Will Ospreay, you've been gone for a couple weeks, and you're out here pulling things that I never, like in kayfabe. I was like, you have so much pull. This is...
Yeah, it's funny, like how like Ospreay and Swerve are like really the only ones to call attention to the fact that Mox is married to Renee. They're just like, oh yeah, you're friends with that. You're married to that person I'm going to be fighting.
So I tell him I'm going to meet him in Glasgow next week at Dynamite. I was like, okay. Oh man. So let's go to our next thing. I was so entertained. I didn't know what to expect. I knew this wasn't going to go any which way other. AEW, I just need you to interact with the crowd more, because this went from a fun match to an amazing match, and I was thoroughly entertained with the crowd interaction. First of all, is Adam Copeland and Big Stoke. Stokely, I love you so much. The way you sell things, the way that he tried to spear, and I'm like, is that like a... I was like, this is like looking like a half-hearted crossbody, and you hit Copeland, and he just stands there. It's like, okay. Then Copeland proceeds to throw Big Stoke around the ring and outside of the ring. Then it's the microphone. He takes a poll real quick with this dude in the front audience is my hero for this week, because he played along so well with it, because Adam Copeland is like, what do you think of Big Stoke? Listen, man, he's short, he's bald, and he gets no hose. Like repeating the meme that Stoke has created the last 2 weeks. And watching Adam Copeland and Stokely like crack and break character after that was said was so... But oh no, we didn't get just one. We got two great interactions from the audience, because then Stokely tries to run away through the crowd. Well, after Copeland asks, hey, Cincinnati, do we have any hoes in the audience? And the crowd is cheering. And then Cope's like, oh, wow, we have a couple of hoes in the audience. Ma'am, let me ask you this. It's like, does Stokely have a chance with you? And she's like, is that a serious question? Well, Stoke, you ain't getting lucky tonight either. Come here. And then you just hear Stokely yell into the microphone as Copeland brings it back in.
Oh, man. Like, delivered
good.
that like, are you serious right now? Is this a serious question? I was taking my notes and I was like, this is like the tale of two stories. Because the first half it was just Stokely trying to trying to do something, and the crowd chanting "Fight forever!" And what a silly segment. I was very sports entertained by this.
I need this to pop up more in any wrestling promotion that we cover here, because fun stuff happens when you get crowd participation. And when it's good crowd participation too. I was just like, I can't speak for all federations, but I feel like fans in 2025, at least most of us, have kind of matured a little bit and not try to hijack the show a lot when given these opportunities, because I know it's always 50-50 when you get crowd interaction like this, but this was perfect. And then, of course, Stoke is getting his butt whooped. FTR come in. They remember that if they try to interfere, that restraining order that FTR have against Cope is null and void. And sure enough, they're like, forget this. And then they end up costing the match. Copeland wins by DQ. We get a brawl. Christian comes out for the sag, and we get the hug heard around the world. I was like, Christian and Cope are back together. It is 2025, and the fact that Christian and Cope are about to be tag teaming for a little bit, and the fact that the Dudleys and the Hardys are having one more match at TNA's Bound for Glory in October, I was like, what in the 90s wrestling is this? I was like, this is crazy in 2025 that the old school tag teams are still running around. This is crazy, but I'm here for it, Betty.
Oh yeah, I am so here for this awesomeness express. To be honest with you, they used to have a podcast when they were both injured called the E&C Pod of Awesomeness, and they had an episode with Kenny Omega on, and I was just like, there's a part of me that always thinks that if things don't work out with let's just say WWE, they got other options, and sure enough,
here we are, man. So of course, I also forgot to mention too, not only was it FTR, but we have the matriarchy, as I calling them, which is Kip and Nick with the guidance of Mama Wayne, come in and try to do it, but Christian again comes to say this is gonna be a good time. So we got to move on though, because now, so this wasn't originally on the promo card until the day of. So we're like, guess what, guys? Tony Khan announces we're getting a 8-man all-star tag team match. I was like, Tony, I love you. What do we say about using the word all-stars? But when I saw this, I was like, okay, we mixed it up. We got Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander, the Don Callis family, teaming up with the Young Bucks. And then we would get a team up of the conglomeration, which is Ishii and Hologram, teaming up with Brody King. And we get a mystery partner from New Japan. I was like, who in the world is about to show up? I'm gonna wait to show the next picture because it does both things at the same time. But I was like, oh my God, every week we keep digging into the lore. The Young Bucks, I love you so much for this now. It is great. Also, shout out to Justin Roberts for getting, kicked in the face during the match too, he sold that beautifully. But after we get the entrances, of course, we then get our faces, Brody, Hologram, Ishii, and then I audibly screamed like a little girl because this is one of my favorites. But coming in to represent New Japan in this match was Robo. Still one of my favorite entrance gears ever. I was like, God, his coat gets ridiculous, more and more long and more ridiculous at Wrestle Kingdom, and I want one so bad. But damn, I love me some Hiromu Takahashi, and you know what? This played into this was part of it, but I thoroughly enjoyed this All-Star again. It's what happens when you get people who know how to work together. And this was really solid and really fun. Everyone got a chance to show. And this was great. Of course, we end up having the baby faces win with Hiromu picking up the pin on Josh Alexander for the win over, the Don Callis family and the Young Bucks. I was thoroughly entertained. This was a really fun 8-man. Benny, what did you think of our 8-man All-Star match?
Oh, it was a blast. It's great to see Hiromu and to see him get a response like that when he came out. A little disappointed we didn't have Daryl, but it is what it is. But I thought all of these guys had really great chemistry. I was like, can I have more of Josh Alexander and Brody King, please?
When we had those two matches against each other, I'm like, more, please. And then I forgot. Technically, it wasn't that long ago. It was maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. But I was like, give me more. Give me more.
Yeah. The funny thing is, when I was thinking of it, I was like, wasn't that a little while ago? And then I was like, oh, yeah. But like, yes, more. I was just thinking like while this match was going on, I was like, everybody in this match except for her and maybe Fletcher and Ishii. I know like Hologram before he was Hologram was like had a banger match with Bandito at PWG, and but like it was just a party match, and you can't never go wrong with a party match.
Absolutely not. This was such a fun 8-man. And not only this, we would also learn after this match that Tony Khan made it official that at Forbidden Door, we're getting the TNT Championship match because Kyle Fletcher wanted somebody from New Japan to come out, and we are getting Kyle Fletcher versus Takahashi at Forbidden Door this Sunday. And oh my gosh, like, I mean, this, like, people might be sleeping on this match. I was like, listen, this is probably on paper. I'm hyped for this match because this is low key going to be a banger.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I'm so excited for this. But we move on from here, though, because we get a quick, segment from Swerve in the ring. Again, we talked a little bit about this last week. I was like, not necessarily my favorite build of all the matches we're getting for Forbidden Door, but honestly, it's Okada and Swerve. So I was like, all right, I'm already in. So everything else comes secondary because I'm excited for these two to link up and lock up. But again, lots of Swerve's house. Okada comes out, and you know what? Fight! I did get worried for a little bit. I was like, oh God, Okada hit the pyro. Oh God, don't hurt yourself. Oh no, don't break the equipment.
It's coming out of your paycheck, Okada. Yeah, that's fine. I'm still getting a bunch of I thought it was like pretty funny. Like it was a good segment with some nice covering by Excalibur and Taz while they were having some technical difficulties.
We had to wait for it to come back for a little bit.
The kids they talk about bangers. Yep, back to the Renee.
So again, it's kind of the same thing we got last week, but this match I'm excited for. It should be a lot of fun for sure. But we got to move on though. Moxley's face in this whole entire thing was great because it's like, hey, so we just got confirmation that Hiroshi Tanahashi is going to be in this match. And Moxley's like, Moxley doesn't show a lot of fear when it comes to people, but he's like, oh crap, they're bringing in the big guns, which I love. I'm going to be for real. I really hope that Tanahashi's final opponent is Moxley before he retires, which would be so much fun because, again, those two have such a long history. But before I go on, though, JVL in the chat, this was a night of technical difficulty. Yeah, just a little bit. It wasn't as bad on the replay because I watched the replay, but yeah. But Moxley's like, okay, Tanahashi's going to be there. All right, cameraman, follow me. Long-term storytelling, folks, because Moxley comes in. And without verbally saying anything, he's like, he recruits the Young Bucks for this match of all Forbidden Door. And for those of you who have been watching AEW for a while now, we had the opposite happen where the Bucks went beforehand. And so this is getting chaotic. Like this lights out. We talked about it earlier. The cage match is going to be nuts. So moving on though. What's in the sky? It's a bird. It's a plane. So we get a vignette that we might be possibly getting the return of Hook. So send for the Hook signal. That is all I have to say.
That pretty much covers it.
Yeah. So very interested to see if Hook is going to go be, hanging around Joe and them, but we'll see what happens with all of that. Main event time. Speaking of Joe, we get the return of Samoa Joe, Mimosa Joe, No Mames Joe, however you want to say it. We have so many different nicknames for this man, but we have the Ops, which again, the funny part about this is that it was funny because earlier someone reported be like, oh, Joe's going to be out. He hurt his ankle filming Twisted Metal. And then he pops in like nothing happened. I was like, all right. And the beast. This was great. This was fun. I was just like, Roosh is crazy. I was like, he's about to smack everybody. And he smacked a lot of people in this match. It's a hot day. Betty, what did you think of our main event trios match in this one?
I thought it was a pretty good main event, TV main event. Like, it wasn't really anything to write home about. But it was like it was just what you wanted it to be. It was hard hitting but no nope spot, so that was interesting.
I was like, what? This is not a Joe match. What do you mean?
I know, like goes right there. Like Roosh had a new sting at the beginning of his music that was really interesting. When you mess with the bull, you get the horn.
I love that so much.
Now, like Roosh and Shibata picked up like right where they left off like 2 weeks ago.
I was like, just give me a single, just let them have a singles fight for like 3 weeks. Give me a best of 3. Like, I need to see Rushin Shibata fight like all the time. Seriously.
Absolutely. That's all you need. But for my taste, anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Say that the last thing I was going to say is that Hobbs needs a purple tag.
Yeah. So, oh man, this was a lot of fun, but the Ops do end up picking up the victory against La Facción Ingornable. So, again, happy to see Joe. Seems to be finished promoting and finished filming season 2 of Twisted Metal, which I believe is either out now or is about to be out. Totally going to watch it because I was a big fan of the video games growing up as a child in the 90s and 2000s. No, not the Deaf Rebels. I love that that's a verb now across any time. We hate intro musics for any promotion. They got Deaf Rebels. That's so good. But the final thing to happen before Dynamite went off the air, though, is again, we talked about it at the beginning. We started with Hangers and MJF, and we end with Hangers and MJF. MJF was not going to let that, insult and that goading and being manipulated and being, bamboozled earlier in the show go. So he attacks Hangman in the parking lot. I was like, I'm telling you, wrestling parking lots are like the not safest places for anybody. Forget everywhere else in the world. The parking lots of any wrestling promotion are the most dangerous, where all the crimes go down.
If there's a backstage announcer and a camera, bring a pipe or
something always goes down in the parking lot. But MJF, he's like, oh, I was like, you played me. Well, guess what? This basically it's the MJF who's like, I'm gonna get you, and you're pretty. I was like, I'll get you too, and you're a pretty dog too, kind of scenario. I was like, alrighty, so we got somewhere to go. Hangman made MJF look like a fool, but Unhinged Max is kind of back, and I'm here for it.
I just thought it was super funny. Like they were clearly having some difficulties throwing to this package. Like Joe Shibata and Hobbs were like shaking fans' hands. Caliber's like, oh, there's Hangman.
I gotta love this from JBL. Why was Hangman standing at the Temu Star Trek pad? I mean, very fair. Again, Dynamite had some production issues, but overall, this was the ending angle leading into Dynamite tomorrow, which is taking place in Glasgow, Scotland, which makes me super excited. But we are not done, so let us get into the other half of our AEW programming, which is Saturday Night Collision. So obviously this was pre-taped on a Thursday and it aired on Saturday because a lot of people are going to be traveling overseas in the next couple of days. So we're already there. So this is going to be fun. Let's get into it. Toni Storm wins best promo of this entire week again. First and foremost, she taught everybody a new prayer. The prayer was nuts. How does she keep one-upping herself? And I'm like, God, it was so good.
She's problem looking out for flying feet, though, during these promos, doesn't she?
Girl is always missing shoes. She's always getting kicked in the face. Like,
somebody who says "watch out for the shoe" a lot, like she really misses that. But yes, I completely agree. Like the promo was fantastic. Like I said this a while ago, and like I don't want to jinx her, but like Toni Storm is slowly becoming like AEW is like Stone Cold. Like every week you tune in because you don't know what's gonna happen. She's even doing the Luthez press.
It's so good. To add to what JBL is saying too, we should all be on our knees for Toni. This entire promo segment from everyone involved was so much fun. Again, Toni, and then Toni does her promo against Athena, and Billy come out and attack Toni. Athena gets some mic time. I love it. She's like, hit my spotlight, bitch. And then she does like overly exaggerated Toni poses in the spotlight. And then, of course, we get the familiar music of Miss Everybody Wants Mina Shirakawa. So to remind the good folks at home, Athena and Mina are going to be fighting for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship next Friday at Death Before Dishonor. So I'm happy to see Mina. I was afraid. I was like, when they said, oh yeah, she broke her hand at All In Texas, I was like, we just crowned her as intern TV champ. You mean to tell her her and Red Velvet are both out? But it seems that Mina is. But listen, if Shotzi Blackheart has shown me anything over the last couple of months, like you can wrestle in a cast. So we just put a cast on Mina and we are go. But this ends up setting up because we are going to be getting some interaction between these women over the next 2 nights internationally too. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But great opening segment. This was a lot of fun. Tony's great. Everybody was fun in this. I was like, this is a fun feud leading into Forbidden Door for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I understand for story purposes of Mina challenging Athena, but that really it's sort of just puts everybody else in ROH on the back burner. And
Yeah.
like, I haven't seen Trish Adora wrestle in like 2 months, 2-3 months. Like, what's going on?
I'm like, she is back. Why are we not seeing Trish more?
Right? And also, like, Dalton Castle, there was a vignette like 2 months ago, and they're just like, oh, we forgot to send him his plane tickets. Apparently,
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on because, like, I haven't seen like Rachel Ellering, like Lady Frost has been kind of MIA for a little bit too in Ring of Honor. Like the women in ROH have kind of like, where are they? But anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I digress.
Listen, you're not the only person. Like, we have had our love-hate relationship with this rebrand in our Ring of Honor program, but you know what? I still enjoy the pay-per-views, but I'm like, dang it, man, we got to be consistent. Be consistent. But we got to move on, though, because we have our first match of Collisions, which is we've been fighting singles for the last 2 weeks, and now we get a tag team match, Jet Speed versus the Death Riders this time versus John Moxley, and tonight will be the night that I fall for you, Wheeler Yuta. Like, even these pictures and these graphics is like, between Wheeler and Mark Briscoe, I was just like, how many different variations do you have of these graphics, of these photos they took of you guys? Like, what is happening?
I love it that like during that 2 week stretch where like Wheeler was getting beat up by, I can't remember, but like he's got like the bandage on. It's like the only time we ever seen the hair in his eyes. He's just got a bandage on. The Wheeler really hung with both Speedball and Kevin Knight. People really underestimate how great of a wrestler Wheeler really is.
He really is, and I know for folks who just watch AEW within like the last like maybe 4 or 5 months since being a part of the Death Rider storyline. For those of us who have been here for a while, he is a former Ring of Honor pure champion when we rebranded Ring of Honor to what it is now. Like, him and Daniel Garcia went back and forth. It was so much fun, and also Tyga Style was involved. It was a good time. I was like, I feel because we mostly see Wheeler be either the person to get pinned or thrown around or just be the punching bag for faces to hit him in this whole Death Rider storyline. He actually is a really good wrestler. And yeah, this was a testament to everybody involved because this was a really fun tag team match. I had enjoyed myself. Of course, Death Riders do end up winning here, which makes a lot of sense given to what we were seeing, but a phenomenal match. And again, we talked about Speedball, but even Kevin Knight, I was like, the amount of crazy top card talent that these two have gotten to work with. And like the 3 months they've been here is wild.
Yeah.
Not even 3. I want to say like 2.
Vlog. The Speedball was like pointing out that like his first 2 pay-per-view matches were against Okada and Kenny Omega.
Wild.
Like, insane. And now he's just like in a short feud with John Moxley.
So much fun. Oh no, 100%. Speedball Mike Bailey is on my Mount Rushmore of current wrestlers right now because like, man is underrated and he works well with everybody, and also him and his partner Veda Scott are like my 2 favorite couple wrestling. They are fantastic. I love them. But yeah, this was a fun tag team match. But we move on though, because Benny, do you hear that? I heard that we have to report for basic training with the Outrunners. This was goofy as all heck, and I was here for every second of it. I feel that we have established them in the last 2 months. I was like, I don't know what Tony Khan's waiting for. Probably like whenever we're done with Hurt Syndicate or wherever we're going right now for the tag champs. But it was like, I want to see the Outrunners with these titles, man. Like, so good. Their day will come, hopefully.
Or at least in a feud. Their feud with the infantry down in ROH like a couple years back was pretty great.
And even in their short feud here with FTR that they had in those matches that they had, I was like, give it to me. Like, so good. Yeah. But we got to leave basic training though, because again, we get into our next match. So, of course, the internet spoiled this for me a little bit, but it is okay. But we got Ricochet versus a debuting, because he is a member of All Elite. He is All Elite now. In Ace Austin, of course, I am very familiar with this man as somebody who has been covering TNA for the last 3 years since this podcast's existence. And as the champion of TNA, I'm just like, TNA has some amazing stars. And AEW seems to be where a good majority of them are going to, because Josh Alexander, Speedball Mike Bailey, and now we have Ace Austin. And I gotta say, I like this match. I love Ace so much. And what a fun opponent in Ricochet to be the person to debut against, which is a lot of fun. I'm ready for the AEW crowd to get see Ace Austin. I'm excited to see Ace Austin get more exposure because I think he's really great.
Oh, I completely agree. Like, I think it's a lot of like the work rate guys that are just like, we're not gonna get over in the other place, so let's go. Let's try the other one. Like, I've been a pretty big fan of Ace Austin since like his Bullet Club days, like with Chris Bay at ABC. And like a good amount of weight since the last time I saw him. And Bang Bang Gang's down to two members. That is,
Hey, you know what? Ace Austin, he could be put with Juice in them. It would be so much fun. But yeah. This match was a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Ricochet does win thanks to help from the Gates of Agony GOA, but a really fun debut for Ace, and I can't wait to see where we go with him moving forward. So excited, can't wait. The Hurt Syndicate don't care if it's Brodito or FTR because they're going to hold on to these tag team championships after Forbidden Door. And then they get asked, Renee asks, well, what about the fallout and the drama between you and MJF? And it's just like, we don't care about MJF. And I was like, we shall see. Depending on what happens with Hangman and MJF at Forbidden Door and when that match goes on, I'm very interested to see how we go from here. So,
yeah.
Again, MJF has got like 5 different storylines across like 3 different brands and across 2 different countries too. I'm just like, okay. But really nice to see our boys here. So we shall see. Yeah, so tomorrow, this is the only match. Well, there's 2 matches we're trying to still finalize. So tomorrow's going to answer the question of who will be facing these champions. And then I'm still keeping my eye out. And hopefully this week before Forbidden Door, another match finalizes. I was like, we're missing 1 participant, Stardom. Get it together. I know everybody's busy right now in the 5-star GP, but you got to figure out who you send in. But I digress.
Yeah, isn't that like not everybody's in the 5-star Grand Prix, right? So like, shouldn't they have like okay?
But I'm like, we're getting to the end. I was like, you just freed up like maybe 10 folks. Like, who you
send a video package at least.
But I'm still excited. So maybe we won't know until Forbidden Door. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm not even going front. So
that would be neat. Like, I'm always down for a mystery opponent. So, I got a question though. Like, did they fly 3 giant men across the country to do a pre-tape?
I'm like, honestly, I would not be surprised. I was like, so at this point, because they pre-taped this, they taped a Collision on Thursday and aired it on a Saturday. So they were done Friday. Everybody probably got on the plane and started heading out because that trip to London is long. Anyways, moving on from here though, next match, Kyle is like killing me with these, like, he's in the conglomeration, but he wants to continue with Paragon. Like, Kyle O'Reilly feels like a child of divorce right now. It's kind of funny to watch. It's like he's splitting time between 2 different groups, and Roddy is just being depressed about everything, which leads into this match of the Paragon versus Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. Very fun match, but I don't want to say squash match, but this is more of like, yeah, I think I know who's winning this one.
Yeah, like they were sort of working heel in this match. I just wish Kyle would just end Roddy's heartbreak, Oh man, that joke was for me and for me only. The kill switch engaged. Like, anytime like they come out to that song, I'm like, yes, get me pumped up already. Like, I don't even need anything else after this. Like, I'm good. Let's go for a mile run. I haven't done that in a long time, but you see what I mean.
No, I totally get it. And of course, like I said, Paragon beats Blake Christian and Lee Johnson. Roddy wants nothing to do with conglomeration, and it's been I was like, again, Kyle O'Reilly feels like a child of divorce between 2 parents, like 2 parents. It's funny to kind of watch in this situation. Kyle, I love you. You're such a goofball, and I love you.
Yeah, I guess Big Tom would be there. He just seems to come over.
He's like, I'm just here for the snacks and all the fun times. Like, it's Ishii. He's so good. But we move on from this match. Tony Khan just be giving money out like I was just like, that is crazy to me. But I'm not going to complain if that means we get to see lots of people get on our TV screens, especially if it's a women's match. So we get this 100K 4-way Collision match, which has Julia Hart, Chris Stat, Della P. Ford, which makes me excited because it's been a while since we've seen her in the ring, and Anna Jay. I had a good time with this match. And again, I said this last week, and I'll say this again. The amount of progress that we've seen from Julia from where she started in AEW to where she is now makes my little heart flutter and happy. I love Julia. And you know what? I was really happy to see Anna here and Penelope. But I will be honest, as soon as I saw this card, I was like, oh, Chris is gonna win. Like she's the only one that's really got somewhat of a storyline and like progression and things like that. But hey, this was entertaining. I was thoroughly entertained. What did you think of this 4-way?
So I guess this is what Tony Khan is spending the renewal money on. Like Penelope obviously was out for like 2 years. She never missed a step. And because she was great beforehand. So like some people just come to it naturally. Like I guess this whole like, John Moxley thing, like be yourself kind of thing. She took that to heart and she's being a weirdo. And I like that a lot.
It's really fun. I think the best way for me to kind of put it, it's giving me a mix of like when she was heel for a little bit, but it also is giving me shades of the quirkiness that we got from her original character of the booping the alien, like alien Chris Statlander, which is a lot of fun. But let me tell you what pushed this over the edge for me, because Harley Cameron. Well, and then we also got like lots of other women. Like we get some face off, we get some stare downs. We have Megan Bain up in this piece, like. That we have like I was like, Tony Khan, give me what we're asking for. Give us a blood and guts match, or at least or some sort of multi-person tag team match, because these girls have been fighting in different variations against each other. I'm like, give me what I want. But Harley Cameron, right? I love you so much. I'm so happy you're wearing this mask for a little bit.
Like when Harley Cameron ran out, like I was like, look at that, her and Speedball shop at the same hardware store. Like they had the same board. It just put tape on it. I love, like, you're absolutely right. Like, it got to be heading towards blood and guts, because otherwise, what else are we doing here? Because there's been basically no promos in between, like, all these people fighting. You would think that they could dedicate some time to giving some of these people some mic time, but hey, it's not my show. Just saying.
Right, and I'm just like, okay. So again, Harley is back. I'm super happy to see Harley Cameron back. And even the next segment was great, because she's like jumping all over Chris and everything. So much fun for me.
Oh, that's great.
And then she like hides behind her when Mox and Wheeler come in. And like you said, Moxley gives Chris kudos, and then Wheeler gives her the dap, and Chris is just like, no. And then he does it himself. I was just like, this is a fun segment. Also, Chris and Harley, I'm here for.
Yeah, like Stat Daddy, everybody pointed out online that Stat Daddy is now canon. Like, and I love that, like, in the last few weeks, like, you've seen, like, people in the backstage, interacting with each other that you would never think who would interact. Like the way that Mox looks at Harley Cameron when Harley Cameron's like being dangled in front of Stat. He's like, I don't even know what to think about you. Like, just throw your stuff around and get out of here. Like,
I had a great time. It was so much fun. So yeah, give me more Harley and Stat. We love them.
Absolutely.
So I will say, while I enjoyed this match, of everything that I saw, I was like, this was the most random out of nowhere. Like, hey, we're gonna put this match on Collision. I was like, I mean, I know why, like Bang Bang Gang and Brian Keith and Large William, Big Bill have been feuding, but I'm like, we're kind of been all over the place with this. I'm not even gonna lie. But we get Juice Robinson versus Brian Keith. I thought this was a pretty, it was a decent match. It wasn't necessarily my favorite, and Juice Robinson wins. I don't really got a lot to say about that, honestly.
Yeah. I just wish that with the whole Brian Keith thing, like, can we keep some consistency? Or like he was a bounty hunter, now then he was the bad apple, now he's a bounty hunter again. What are we doing? It's hard to keep up.
I'm like, okay, yeah. I was just like, this Brian Keith has had an interesting journey here in AEW so far, but I mean, I think he's great. I just wish we found something solid for him and Big Bill to do, because I feel like they're both kind of floating right now, which is sad because I love them both. Absolutely. But we got to move on though. Anthony Bowens is tired of hearing Max Caster, and so we learned that Max is going to have his first international open challenge this week on AEW programming. I was just like, it's going to go one of two ways. We're either going to see Anthony Bowens answer it, which we kind of already had before, or it's actually going to be an international wrestler coming to beat up Max, which I'm here for. I don't know how he would, but if somebody like Drilla Maloney showed up and just gave him the Drilla for his troubles, would be amazing. But yeah, Anthony's fed up of everybody talking about Max. So I was just like, yes, Anthony Bowens is heel. Now I'm more interested. But we'll see what happens with all of this. We got to give this time because I feel like we're going to be seeing this for a little bit longer in 2025. But main event time. They called it the technical spectacle, and I was just like, this was my favorite match of Collision. And honestly, I think this is probably my favorite match on AEW this past week too. But that's because of everybody we got in this ring. So not only was this called a technical spectacle, but this was a number one contendership. Winner will go on to Forbidden Door to face Zack Sabre Jr., the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So I was just like, oh Lord, this is for a championship match against one of the best technicians out there currently in wrestling. And so in this technical spectacle, we had from Echi Seto from CMLL and also has a dual AEW contract apparently, which is cool. Tyga Style and our Ring of Honor Pure Champion Lee Moriarty, Nigel McGuinness, and then Daniel Garcia. This match ruled. I had such a blast watching this.
Man, this if there was ever a match for me, like this was it. And like Daniel Garcia and Lee Moriarty as the killers as opposed to the pillars. Garcia in a gory special and Cerro in ankle lock, and I was like, what is even happening? Like it was just like an octopus of people. It was just absolutely fantastic. Like I really liked the fact that they had two reps, one on the inside, one on the outside, just in case somebody missed like a rope break or something. Really neat. I really liked that aspect.
I really did too, which was very smart because again, anything could happen, and as all four of these people showed us, like, guys, this is a really technical, slightly kinky version of, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on it? Of Twist.
Yes, exactly.
I was like, why am I blanking on name? What is it? Oh yeah, I was like, this was a wrestling kinkified version of Twister with how they were putting, it's like right foot over here, right on there. I was just like, this was fun. But ultimately, we were so close. Danny was so close, but Nigel was able to make his opponent tap out way before, which, Nigel McGuinness is your winner and will be going on to Forbidden Door to face Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And I'm like, how is it that in 2 years that Zack Sabre Jr. has fought probably some of the best technical wrestlers, legends, if you will? He got to fight Bryan Danielson not too long ago, like last year. And now he gets to fight Nigel McGuinness. I was just like, Zachary, I'm jealous of you. I'm mad. I was like, you're out here living the life and you're champion at that. But oh no, it even gets juicier for us here though. Too. Oh, go for it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on your toes. I was just gonna say, did you see that graphic that they put out today?
Wow.
There's like on ZSJ, there's like a picture of a dog and a picture of Shakespeare, right? Because CSJ at one point has said showing technical wrestling to an American audience is like teaching a dog about Shakespeare. This is fantastic.
I was just like, okay. So Nigel wins. He's going to be facing Zach, but we end the show though because Nigel wants somebody to be in his corner and he gives Daniel Garcia his props. So Nigel asks Daniel Garcia to be in his corner for this match, and Daniel says yes. And I'm just like, there are three ways that I see this going. One, Daniel's going to turn on Nigel. Two, we set up Zack Sabre Jr. and Danny Garcia down the line, which would make me lose my mind in the best way possible because I would be here for that one. Or, you know what? None of those two things happen, and Danny is actually there, but he kind of still remains a face about it even afterwards. So we'll see what happens. But, man, this match is going to be fun, and that's what brings us to a close to Collision and our AEW review for this past week. But oh no, dear viewers, we are not quite done yet because this is technically our go home show. Yes, I know there's a Dynamite and Collision this upcoming week, but next Tuesday we'll be reviewing a pay-per-view, so deal with it. But no, in all seriousness, so what we're going to do now is me and Benny are going to be going over we're going to making our predictions for Forbidden Door, so all the boys in the AEW crew, we have a little bit of a predictions league, and we are currently in the 2025-2026 season. So Betty, since you are newer to us, what will happen for you to kind of like not be at a disadvantage, so to speak, is like I did with our newer co-host who joined the teams later in the prediction season. I will add and take the averages of Double or Nothing, as well as, y'all in Texas, and then adding whatever you end up getting as your predictions record for Forbidden Door into this. Thankfully, it hasn't been a lot of AEW pay-per-views so far this year, which has been really, really nice, which we appreciate. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over each match. I kind of explain how we got here. Some matches don't have a lot of build, but that is okay. And some matches, like in other promotions, when we do these, it's like, doesn't make a lot of sense, but we're still here for it. So let's get into everything. So let's start off with our first match we're going to talk about. So these matches are in no particular order. I usually start with non-title bouts first, and then we'll make my way up into like tag team, mid card, top of the card, championships, all that stuff. So we are getting Adam Copeland and Christian Cage taking on the matriarchy. So Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian. So there are two possibilities for me, Benny. Number one is that AEW goes with the thing I think they're going to. It was like Copeland and Christian win. So the other one is they pull a swerve on me and Nick and Kip get this first win, only for Adam and Christian to get the second win, and then we get the final, rubber blow-off match between these two teams. I'm going to go with the former. Again, Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian gave a concerto to Christian Cage not too long ago, and Christian Cage came out to help Copeland fend off attacks from Nick Wayne and Kip. So I'm going to go with Copeland and Cage here. I think AEW and Tony Khan will probably go with the latter. Again, could swerve me, but I'm going to go with Copeland and Christian Cage here.
That's a fair pick, and I'm actually going to go the opposite way. I'm going to say Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne with the help of FTR.
Oh, nice. I would love to see that, honestly. And you know what? If this match goes on before the championship, oh man, that means that FTR is going to be Brodito probably. Anywho, but we'll get into that match. So, oh man, I'm excited to see what the other boys pick too. So I'm going to be looking at this weekend. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But me and Benny are on opposite sides for this one. It still should be a fun match. Next up, let's talk about this lights out steel cage match. Again, not for a title, but this screams like, oh, this is going to be the top, like towards the tail end of the pay-per-view, which is nuts. So again, this is heels versus baby faces, so to speak. So on the heel side, you have the Death Riders, which is John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli teaming up with the Young Bucks and New Japan's own Gabe Kidd. And on the face side, you have Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, the ace of NJPW and of the company too, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And, just like the greatest tag team that everybody knows from New Japan in the Golden Lovers, everybody's going to get hurt. Everyone's going to die, like metaphorically speaking in this match. I was just like, what is about to happen? Well, let me correct that. Gabe and Mox and Darby are going to die. Like, let's be real. Those three are probably going to do the craziest stuff. Also, Will Ospreay, you might be up there because you and Kyle Fletcher left a bloody mess when you fought at Revolution.
Yes.
Oof, this one's tough for me to pick. So, okay. So, before we get into the pick, so Darby returned at Y'all in Texas and part of the Avengers style match that was Hangman and Mox in that Texas death match. And so Darby and Mox have been having a feud for, the last couple of weeks, which now has evolved into this. Because this is a multi-person match and there are so many options of who can get pinned in this match for either side, I still think Darby and Mox are probably going to continue to feud for the remainder of the year, which is what I'm hoping is, because Darby wants to take out the Death Riders one by one. And he has been merely toying with them, but I need to see Darby take some more action. So I think I'm going to go with the Death Riders, the Bucks, and Gabe Kidd. Only because I think Darby can lose this match but not get pinned. Or get pinned, because then I'm looking at his team and I was just like, it's either you or Ospreay. Yeah. Or who knows, it might be Tanahashi too, because Tanahashi is not above, getting pinned. But to be so for real, I'm like, Darby and Will are probably going to get pinned. But I'm going to go with Team Death Riders and Bucks and Gabe Kidd on this one, because I think can ultimately win the war. But in this battle, I think it's going to go to Mox for round one.
That is fair. I am actually going to agree with that, seeing that, like, the bad guy usually prevails at the beginning. Right. So I'm also going to go with the Death Rider Bucks, I guess.
Right. So this should be interesting. This should be a lot of fun. Alrighty. We're going to kind of start speeding this up a little bit because we are getting into the hour-and-a-half territory. So I won't be giving too much background, but I will be quickly giving my routine and then going into yours, Benny. So now let's get into our championship matches because we got a lot on this card. First up, we have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. It is the Hurt Syndicate, and they will be either facing FTR or Bro Dito, depending on who wins tomorrow night at Dynamite. Listen, I want to see Bro Dito go to the end and win it all. But I think ultimately it will be FTR and Hurt Syndicate. But I have Hurt Syndicate retaining here. I still think we have a little mileage left. But then again, who knows? AEW has made some crazy decisions at Forbidden Door before. So regardless of FTR and Bro Dito, I got the Hurt Syndicate retaining here. Benny, who you got in this one?
To be honest with you, I'm going to go with FTR simply because I know at this point, I like to think that I know how Tony Khan thinks, and having Edge and Christian on the list of tag team champions seems like something right up his alley. So FTR for the win.
Very true, which, makes me excited. So moving on, though, we get into our TNT Championship match, which is going to be our champion Kyle Fletcher defending the title against New Japan's Takahashi. I think this is going to be good. There's also another match I have in contention for being a sleeper hit as well. I will say, though, as much in the world of wrestling of Hiromu sticking around AEW to be a champion for a little bit, I have gone with Kyle Fletcher in this one. I think this one's an easy pick, but damn, these two are going to bring it, and I cannot wait. Benny, who you got for the TNT Championship match?
Definitely Kyle Fletcher. I think it'll be, as you said, a sleeper match, but Hiromu don't even go here.
So, yeah, this match is one of my sleeper hits. So we both have Kyle Fletcher. Next up, we have our TBS Championship 4-way match, and 3 different representations from the companies involved, which is AEW, CMLL, and Stardom. So in this match, Mercedes will be defending her title against the AEW representative, who won her fatal 4-way match in Alex Winza, versus the CMLL representative of Persephone versus a TBD for Stardom, because a lot of the girls are working in the 5-star GP still. So who knows? We may not know until the match happens. Regardless, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really happy that they're kind of doing something similar that they did with Wrestle Dynasty at the beginning of the year as part of the New Japan Wrestle Kingdom weekend, which was a lot of fun. I have Mercedes retaining here. I still think that I think AEW and Tony still want Mercedes to continue to be champion, to beat Jade's Cargill's record of longest reigning TBS champion before losing it. I love Alex Windsor, I really do, but I don't think she's going to be getting this championship anytime soon, but who knows? So I got Mercedes retaining here. Benny, who you got for this one?
I agree with everything you said. I don't think they're going to take the belt off Mercedes just yet. And, Alex Windsor just got here, so she needs to be built up a little bit more before she can take the belt. And Persephone, as great as she is, I don't see her taking it. And, there's still a missing person, so I don't know.
Honestly, it would be crazy, but I think this match is still going to be really good, too. I want them to give these women time, because you have really solid wrestlers. I mean, Alex Windsor, Mrs. Will Ospreay, as I joke with her, but literally Rev Pro UK Women's Titan. Persephone is the CMLL powerhouse. And then whoever they pick from Stardom, as much as I'm hurry up, I need you to tell me now, I already know it's just they're gonna work snug, and I'm so here for it, and I cannot wait. I wouldn't mind if it's
Come on, Starlight Kid.
Oh my! I would lose my mind if it's Starlight Kid. And then just for the gags, it would be. I know it would never happen, but imagine it was Fugeking Death who comes into this. It's just maybe not for this one, but yeah, Starlight Kid would be amazing. But you know what? I can also see Azumi making it too. I mean, she is our strong women's champion as well. So we'll see what happens. Next up, though, we have our Unified Championship match. This is Swerve Strickland. This is another one that's kind of easy for me, at least. I am going to go with Okada here. I mean, technically, they already made the announcement that he's the longest reigning champ, period, in AEW. But I don't think Swerve is going to take it from him quite yet. But I'm going to go with Okada retaining here. Benny, who you got for this one?
I think this one, if Hiromu and Fletcher doesn't steal the show, I think this one very well could. In terms of predictions, definitely Kazuchika Okada to retain.
Yes. So, should be a fun match, though. But now let's get into my second sleeper hit of the whole entire night. I don't think anyone is really looking out for this one, but I need people to. So this is going to be a technical spectacle part 2, Electric Boogaloo, if you will. but this is for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So this is New Japan's top title. This is the technician himself, Zack Sabre Jr., the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, versus the British technical spectacle master himself and Nigel McGuinness. This is 2 generations of technicians in the ring, and I am here for all of it. God, I'm so excited. Again, another easy pick. I have Zack retaining the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, but I'm like, give these men 20 to 25 minutes. Let them stretch every limb possible. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for this match, Benny, but who you got for this one?
It's about the same, considering it's for the IWGP World Heavyweight title, I see Zack retaining, but this is the match I'm looking forward to the most out of all this at this entire pay-per-view. So I would like to see, because it's clearly a storyline match, because this is a little bit one-sided. Unless, Bad Dude Tito comes out with Zack Sabre.
Yeah, I miss Bad Dude Tito so much in New Japan.
Yeah, me too.
So, but again, this should be a fun one. Now, let's get into our final 2 matches, which I'm going to be for real. I'm 50-50 on both of them. I'm like, I don't know here. But first, let's talk about our AEW Women's World Championship. This is Timeless Toni Storm defending her title against the Y'all In Casino Gauntlet winner, Athena, who is cashing it in. Oh my goodness, this one's really hard, because it can go 50-50. I am biased here because I always vote for my heart, because I love Toni Storm and I can never root against my girl. So therefore, I am going to pick Toni. But I can also make an argument for Athena winning this too. The only thing that's holding me back a little bit is I don't know if Tony Khan would have Athena hold both the Ring of Honor and AEW World Championship. I don't even think she's dropping it at Death Before Dishonor, to be so for real. So I have Timeless Toni Storm, because I'm not certain that Tony Khan would have Athena be Athena 2 belts. But then again, Mercedes has like 10 belts at this point, so who knows? But yeah, I'm 50-50, but I'm going to lock in with Timeless Toni Storm. Benny, who you got for this one?
I'm going to go the opposite way, and I think it's going to be Athena, simply for the fact that Toni Storm and Athena, I'd love to see this feud continue, and really the only way I see that continuing is if Toni drops the belt to Athena. And as we've seen before, Toni without a belt gets really crazy, and I'm here for that.
So, no, I'm honestly same here. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't wait. So, but this should be a really good match. I cannot wait to see what happens here, which leads us into our final match that is on the main card so far for the AEW World Championship. This is Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. Again, this is another match where it's 50-50 for me, because I can make an argument for Hangman to continue to run as champion, or for MJF to kind of spoil the Cowboy title reign and so soon, and then just run with the championship. Again, I'm going with my heart on this one. I got to go with the Millennial Cowboy, our anxious Millennial Cowboy, Hangman Adam Page. Benny, who you got walking out as champion for this one?
Problem, there's still so many variables in the story. I think that they're setting up the Casino Gauntlet match, so that way everybody who gets it loses. So that way there's no easy way to the title, if that makes sense.
No, it totally makes a lot of sense. So, man, yeah, so this is going to be interesting. And that, my friend, brings us to the end of our predictions for Forbidden Door. So really quickly, before we sign off for the evening, of course, I did send out this prediction form a little bit early to our other co-hosts who are not here, but I do want to read their responses in all of this as well, specifically JBL's. So JBL does have his predictions in, and so JBL has made the following predictions. He has gone with Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian, Team Darby Allin for the Steel Cage match, the Hurt Syndicate to retain as tag champs, Kyle Fletcher to retain as TNT champion, Mercedes to retain as TBS, to retain as Unified Champion, Zack Sabre Jr. to retain the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Toni Storm to retain the Women's World Championship, and Hangman Adam Page to retain the AEW World Championship. So, but that is going to be it for us here And for All Elite Ensemble, was a long one, so I'm not going to spend too much time like doing all the crazy bits. Benny, thank you for being here. We rocked it as a dynamic duo. It was so much fun, but yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. But you might be wondering, why is it a lot of fun, Mikey? Well, we got a whole jam-packed week this week still. Tomorrow evening is our double dose of reviews. We got NXT, which we're going to review the NXT Go Home show, as well as make predictions for Heatwave, which is also happening this weekend, as well as doing our CMLL review, as we are 2 weeks away from CMLL's Grand Prix and 5 weeks away from CMLL's 92nd anniversary show, which is crazy to say. Then on Friday, the TNA crew will be here to review TNA's Emergence, so this pay-per-view was something. And then Saturday and Sunday is nothing but watch-along madness. Saturday is night 1 of GCW Homecoming, which is going to be nuts. And then Sunday is your double dose of watch-alongs. At 10 a.m., we are going to be watching Forbidden Door as long as we can, because then I got to have a hard stop at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, because then I'm jumping over to GCW Homecoming Night 2. There's a lot of action, and so yeah, that's going to be it for us here at All Elite Ensemble. So, and stay tuned for the rest of the reviews this week, and from all of us here at the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later for more wrestling goodness this week, but until then, and peace.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.